from time to time, giving orders to charge here and hold there. I knew my histories. Julius Caesar's men would have followed him into the jaws of Cerberus himself just because of that great general's presence on the field. And I, Maxentius, Emperor of Rome, had to be a new Julius Caesar this day, or I would be no one. Briefly, across the sea of glinting helms and the forest of spear points, I caught sight of him. My enemy, the man who would wrest Rome from me. Constantine. My brother, my oldest friend, and yet my last and most bitter adversary. Like a hero of ancient myth, he rose in his saddle, sword rising and falling in a constant spray of blood. The force I had in the field vastly outnumbered that of my old friend, and there at the centre, not far from my brother on his war-horse, I could see Volusianus and his Praetorians, pressing home our attack, assuring our victory. 5,000 men, clad in high-quality steel, their shields bearing the proud scorpion insignia of the guard, heaved forward against Constantine's simple, chain-clad veterans, the enemy's shields invested with a bright new design, as if it might ward off a Praetorian blade. It was almost over, half a day's fighting. They had told me to stay in the city and prepare for a siege, but I could not. The time had come for confrontation. Even the Sibylline oracle had urged for this. Volusianus was close to Constantine now. Might my prefect even kill my old friend for me? Constantine lunged and withdrew. I could not make out his foe at this distance, but the way he lolled in the saddle suggested he had almost been skewered. I had mixed feelings about that even now. Even here, at the end, when only he or I could leave this field as master of Rome, I could not have personally wielded the blade that took the life of my old friend. I was grateful to Volusianus for sparing me that pain. How had it come to this? How had we ended our time together in this world here, each determined to witness the other's demise before the sunset? A friendship so close that its collapse tears at the soul must have deep, strong roots. I barely flinched, impassive, as a lucky stray bolt from one of Constantine's artillery snatched a prefect from his saddle mere paces from me, hurling him back over his horse's rear with a shriek and into the dust. So much death. But once, long ago, things were different. My brother and I had been young and innocent. Once the world was innocent. Part 1. Faber est suae, quisque fortunae. Every man makes his own fortune. Appius Claudius Caecus. Chapter 1. Constantine. Nasus, Moesia Superior, October 277 AD, 35 years earlier. My earliest memory is of a storm, a relentless tempest that battered my birth town of Nasus. It gathered at dusk as I lay in my bed. Through the cracks in the shutters I watched the black clouds clawing across the dusk sky, as if to tear down the day. Night arrived and the winds grew fiercer, howling like a pack of lost wolves, the rain lashing like a torturer's whip. When the thunder came, I trembled like the timbers of our modest home. I shivered under my blanket, watching as the shutters strained against the storm's wrath. Then, with a furious gust, they were blown open. The icy gales searched through my room, tearing the blanket from me as the rain flayed the floorboards. I gawped at the open window, then glanced at the door leading downstairs into safety. My parents often told me I was bold, too bold and reckless, and so it was that night, for I found myself slipping from my bed, stepping towards the flapping shutters, shielding my eyes from the forked lightning that tore the dusk asunder. Chill rain soaked my nightshirt as I grasped the sill, then stretched to stand on my toes. I felt the breath catch in my throat when I saw what the storm had done to the town. The swollen river had burst its banks, and now murky water tumbled through the streets in dark torrents. The pained lowing of trapped cattle sounded from nearby, and the broken corpses of others bobbed and tumbled through the deluge. I saw crying families huddled atop wagons and market stalls. Across the narrow streets I saw